German guys.
That's a real good vacation right there.
We're talking with the German guys about Oktoberfest, and they're telling us that if you get up, you lose your seat. So the old guys, they bring like canes that are like curved, and they just sit there and they pee because the tables are so big that people are just peeing down this thing, so it's further away from them, so they don't have to get up. So there's just like rivers of pee under the table. Yeah. And that's a real thing.
Are we recording?
That's a German dream, and yes, we are.
Fantastic. I want to make sure we got that. So they're sitting there and maliciously peeing on people's feet.
Yeah, I would like angle it, you know, around the people around me.
Right.
They don't necessarily have to be peeing downhill.
No, I like to try peeing uphill. It's a
challenge, but you can
It's
do
an
it.
uphill battle.
builds character.
It's fantastic.
Like raping a muscular girl. You're like, it's like a boss battle.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I've been training for.
Those
All
Kegel
right.
exercises. That's their
We didn't
form.
even get to do an intro, but we're keeping that. Oh, fuck's sake. When's the first time you met Nick here? Why
It
don't
was
you
in
tell
your
us?
garage. It was
Oh,
a
that's
pleasant
right.
experience.
That's right. All right. So that was, we had started our own band, and Nick was coming to drum for us. And one of the first things he did was to blatantly insult your girlfriend, wasn't it?
In retrospect, it was a good decision.
I remember that. It was just like 2 sentences out of the gate, and it's just like, I don't know what he said, but it was something to that effect.
I can tell you what I said. It wasn't.
He remembers it like it was yesterday.
It wasn't. I don't remember exactly, but it wasn't meant to be insulting. It was more like I was making a static electricity joke about his girlfriend's pubic hair. That's not offensive.
No, but that's the best way to introduce yourself, of course.
Absolutely.
He knew where things stood from that moment on.
2 sentences into the relationship, and you're talking about his girlfriend's pubic hair. Yep. That's,
Well, I have a girlfriend if I can't talk about
yeah,
it.
no,
And
why
we've
not?
been best friends ever since.
Best friends ever since.
He knew to
It was a magic moment.
Well, it's a good life lesson for everyone. Keep your penis grounded.
Well, it's, getting on dating stuff. There's a girl, just hopping right into it.
not?
There's a girl at my work that tends to go on Tinder dates. I think she actually has a serious boyfriend now. But
sounds like she has a great
but
sense of...
she goes for the food. So she can get the free meal. If she puts out, it was always a mystery, but she goes specifically so she doesn't have to pay because she's a college student. And I found that
thought he was
interesting.
going somewhere else with that.
No, I always found that interesting. It's a good exchange
Thanks
system.
to feminism, there doesn't need to be consequences anymore.
There are a lot of different kinds of hookers.
Yeah. And, there's a lot of truth in that,
Yeah.
Some of them accept money directly, either direct deposit. You can Venmo that shit right into their bank account. You can pay them in cash, of course, if they need to buy drugs afterwards or before.
And some go for garlic bread.
Some go for unlimited garlic bread at Olive Garden.
Have you guys
Those
ever
are the
had
high-class ones.
Have you guys ever had any experience with what I would call like emotional hookers? People that go out on dates with you or do something like that, but they just because they need the emotional, like they need somebody to tell them they love them, or they need somebody to talk to, or
Well, as the nice guy spokesman, I'll answer with no.
really.
It's because there's no dates to be had, so...
Well, okay. So, as dating in LA, what have you tried out there? Have you tried
Anal?
just meeting people? Yeah, just meeting people in person, using online things, phone things,
Have you tried like
Well,
Hispanic?
I can say...
hobos.
I can say...
We had the Chinese.
the hookers you can't go for because they're shady at best. And I don't mean that just because,
you might
it's
get
a
one
shady
with-
practice. It's because some of them may have penises.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say you might get one without the penis, and that's that's
What are you
terrible.
gonna do?
I mean, that's usually a disappointment, but I live with it sometimes, But I tried Tinder for a bit. Fun game, actually, with these guys' roommate, Will. We both tried just one night swiping to say okay to the date, just like constantly, so much that it said, no, stop. You've had too many people.
You've had all of them.
You've run out of people in your area. You've liked them all. You can't like anymore.
So, let me just jump in here for a second, but that's not what you're supposed to do. That's all I do.
It's like anyone. Who's going to give me a chance?
Please,
Anybody, please.
Somebody love me. Anybody.
Give me
Is
love.
that not what that...
We got
Typically,
a few people.
you apply your standards to the different people that come up. But I guess in certain situations, if your standards are
Well,
Well, Nick, what are your standards?
let's talk about the three ways.
Pulse, just basically pulse.
Let's talk about the 3 ways I define myself, all right? And those 3 words, and I'm not looking for somebody to be way better than me, so
What's the title of the show? Anybody
Yeah.
who's listening, that's what he's talking about.
yeah. So
What is the title of the
it's
show,
a safe
actually?
word.
Just in case anybody doesn't know
This
what we're
is
doing
Fat,
here.
Dumb, and Angry
Yep.
There we
with
go.
Nick Savansky. For anyone who
FDA.
doesn't know what the fuck they've gotten themselves into.
So I'm looking for just at least if I can get one of those things taken away, preferably the fat. But other than that,
So you're okay with dating somebody that's dumb and angry?
Dumb and
just
angry.
not fat?
I almost prefer dumb. I almost prefer fat and dumb because fat and dumb people are like some of the best people you can ever meet.
That's fat, dumb, and happy. That's what
Yeah.
you want to be with.
Fat, dumb, and happy.
All right.
Unfortunately, I won't get there, but still, that's all I'm looking for. So yeah, have you gone on any dates recently?
I did go on one. It turned out as good as you'd expect.
Wonderfully.
Please.
Yeah,
tell
it
us.
was great. You have to try to investigate and tell about yourself at the same time. So you try to find out more about them and then tell them more about you, and you got to force that information on them. Otherwise, there's no conversation. And then
Yeah.
and then you pay for the meal, and then in LA, as obligated, you have to get a ticket for your parking. So a date becomes twice as expensive, if not 3 times more expensive. So that was pretty good. Yeah, it went well.
Wow. So you use Tinder? Did you ever use OkCupid?
Yeah, I got
Any
no
other
success from that.
And what about your profile? What kind of profile did you write? Because I feel like
Oh,
that's most
yes.
of it.
Yes.
Well, here's the funny thing. There's a guy that used to work at the juice place, that gay guy, and
Of course.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm not getting much luck on Tinder. He's like, oh well, let me look at it. I'm like, I don't know if this is the best decision, because he was trying to help me out.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know what signals he was going to send to other people trying to, create my
Rustle
profile
up some
for me.
business.
Yeah.
He basically said that my pictures were shit, though.
Well, what kind of-
Which, coming from him, fine. I accept that. I don't take great pictures.
Well,
It's not that I'm not photogenic. It's just that I just don't have good pictures of me.
Of course.
you're not fat, so you got to head up on everyone else. I mean, what are these women looking for?
Money.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
take a picture of
really.
yourself with a bunch of 20s, scatter them across your chest, nipples, get all sweaty.
Especially on the nipples.
Yeah. Well, because you don't want to give too much away.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you got to leave some mystery.
Leave
Yeah.
something to the imagination.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what did you put on your?
It's just basic pictures. I try to, you kind of have to strategize. Try to be like, oh, I've been places. To take a picture from some.
I've been places, baby.
I've been everywhere, man.
Look at all these girls I had.
But
Look at them.
say like just show a diverse interest, like that you've been different places, you do different things, like if you play an instrument, do something like that.
But
Or-
what was the gay guy saying? It was just like, you take shit photos and that was the end of the story? Like, did he give no offer? Like, no.
I showed him some other photos of me. Now,
Just like, you
Some-
look like
some-
shit, and then he walked away.
some-
Like,
some new-
what's the end of that story?
no,
Some
we
of
have to
those
stand next to
pictures.
each other the whole time, so he was obligated to stand there. There was no walking away.
Wow.
But he gave suggestions, like they have to be, ones kind of like, it reminds me of South Park, where they had the album cover where they all had to be looking in different directions. Like you have to be looking away from the camera and that kind of shit. Like, and you got to make your profile seem like you don't care at all. I'm like, okay. Like I was just like, hey, looking to meet some people in LA. That was literally my entire profile. It's like you got to make it be like, I don't give a fuck about being on here. I don't understand why everybody uses this. I'm like that. But then you'd have to question, why are you on there then?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
here's a theory I wanted to throw out there for you guys. My theory was that, there's this whole idea of jerks, women like jerks.
Mhm.
Now, a personality is developed through the absence of either physical looks or no other means. Like you develop a personality to get people to talk to you, to like you, when you ain't got anything else. So the idea that, pretty people become jerks because they don't need to develop a personality because they already have something that people want. So the idea is you act like a jerk to try to mind fuck them into thinking that you're hot. Well, obviously he has to be good looking. He's not nice, right? It's a weird kind of thing that I think goes on in women's heads they don't even realize. So,
I mean, that's true, but there was a guy at my other job that he he literally was the most boring person I ever met. Like, you talk to me like, hey, what's up, man? And then just walk away. Like, there was no like, hey, how's it going? Any conversation. I didn't know much about him. The girls loved him there, and they said because he was mysterious. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Mysterious.
He's the guy that would, fuck you in the ass and then never call you again. That's the kind of guy he was.
No, that's an asshole. And dicks fuck assholes.
Yeah,
Dicks
exactly.
fuck assholes. Dicks also fuck pussies.
Well, it's already too late. LA is just covered in shit.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It
Yeah.
is.
LA's the asshole of the whole.
It's in the air.
Yeah.
What's the difference? What have you found the difference between LA and New York being? You've lived both places. Personality.
That New York's waiting for you, according to Taylor Swift. But
There's a lot of things waiting for me.
This whole town's just a pussy waiting to be fucked.
New York. Actually, again, that gay guy came up with a great analogy between the two. LA girls are healthy and tan and kind of hippies, and New York girls are kind of goth and don't really go in the sun at all, possibly just light up in flames.
Different environments,
They wear those hats,
Yeah.
Those hats.
the big floppy hats that you usually would wear to a funeral. But
Oh, I got a good question for you.
okay.
Now, I mean, this is something I've heard you say to me before, but out of your experience, where would you say has more gay people, LA or New York?
Ooh.
LA.
LA. Okay.
It's much more accepted. You drive down
Glory
Santa
holes?
Monica Boulevard. Everywhere.
Okay.
They're not even.
They're just in the doorway.
Okay, just out of curiosity, has anybody here ever naturally encountered a glory hole? Like you go into a bathroom, you sit down, and like, oh, I gotta take a shit. Then you look to your left, there's a glory hole.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have seen
No.
one. Yeah.
No, I have not.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this shit is real or
made
if
a
it's just
few.
all porn. You've actually seen one.
I'm pretty sure I've seen one. I mean, it was a hole with duct tape kind of keeping the edges clean. So I
That's
assume,
Nice.
glory hole, yeah.
I assume, yeah.
Where was this?
Yeah, I honestly don't remember. I remember just being
He
like,
doesn't remember anything after the dick came through the hole.
Blacked it out of his memory.
I don't though. I assume it was probably somewhere.
You
in
don't
LA.
what?
I don't remember
You
where
don't
where it was. But if you go down Santa Monica Boulevard, it's literally they're much more accepting of gay people. Like, yeah, there's some in New York, but Santa Monica Boulevard, there's a street, a walkway that has a rainbow on it.
Oh.
I mean, it doesn't get more pronounced than that, and like rainbow flags everywhere.
Yeah,
So.
that's pretty much, yeah.
But
I feel like you have to be either looking for it or extraordinarily desperate to take a shit in a place that would have a glory hole. Some sort of
Or-
establishment that would be so seedy that would allow their bathrooms to have a glory hole. I don't think I would have ever wanted or allowed myself to shit in a public place that would lend itself to glory hole traffic.
that brings me into
I don't know. I mean, yeah, like
That brings me to a nice
I
segment to
really
an
want
asshole.
to figure out where you were.
Well, truck stop.
That's what I would imagine.
Well, you
That's
drove
where it would be,
across-
like.
Honestly, that's probably where it was. I can't think of
Like,
anywhere
I've
else
been driving
other
for
than
5
Santa
hours. I
Monica
need to
Boulevard.
shit. Like, yeah.
But I was with a group from work, and we all went to a bar on Santa Monica Boulevard, which was a little weird for me. But I'm like, okay, whatever. And there's this guy who's a total bro, literally Mike the Situation type guy, and he's like, yo, bro, can you come to the bathroom with me? I'm like,
Oh my God.
what the? Yeah. What? And he's like, I need to talk to you, bro. Just come with me to the bathroom. I'm like, am I gonna get raped here? I just don't understand. And we go to the bathroom, and he's like, all right, dude. There's gay guys here, so bro, I need you to stand next to me so that the gay guys aren't looking at my dick when I'm taking a piss. I'm like, what? And I just looked at him like, you can't be serious. Are you really that serious? And as soon as two guys walked in, and they're probably gay, I mean, Santa Monica Boulevard, but I just immediately moved, and he was pissed after, but he's just like, bro, why didn't you back me up, bro? You're supposed to back me up. I'm like, no.
I'm glad you stood up for yourself.
Well, going to the
'Cause
bathroom with
that's-
another man is the gayest thing you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, just about. As opposed, the only other thing is sleeping in the same bed as a man, but
I think I think the gayest thing would have to be sex, but I mean, if we're jumping past that, besides actually
Penetrating
Are we-
another asshole.
yeah, I mean, I think we're overlooking the obvious here by saying the gayest thing you could do is go into the bathroom with a guy, because I think there's gayer
No,
shit.
no. A blowjob from a guy is pretty straight.
There's the pile.
Yeah.
Back to the pile.
Because what we don't understand is that math is the universal language. Double negatives, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it's something so gay, it just becomes straight.
well, it's also not gay if you like it.
Oh yeah.
That I think is a universal truth.
Exactly.
But now, maybe I should redact that statement and say that's the gayest thing I've ever been asked to do, is go to the bathroom with another man.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Possibly. I think that would be the gayest thing I've been asked to do.
Do you want to
So
say
has brought something for us this evening. It is a bottle of Chupacabra from Merkin Vineyards, which, if anybody doesn't know, is owned and run by Maynard James Keenan from Tool and Pussifer, the lead singer. So why don't you open that up? We're going to test that out and see what that tastes like.
Absolutely.
Something different.
Like I said, Merkin Vineyards, Chupacabra, 2012, New Mexico, red table wine, 13.7%.
It's a good year.
It also,
Nobody died, No apocalypse there.
Yeah.
interestingly enough,
No apocalypse now.
the Da Vinci's something man.
Yeah, I wanted to say
Oh,
something
yeah.
about that. What's
The-
that called again? Anyway, I wanted to say, this thing that Da Vinci made, send out, we chose to pick it and to send it out into space for aliens to find. Couldn't we at very least, just to intimidate the aliens, just gave us like huge ass dongs, So when the aliens are like, oh shit, we better not bring our women
If you're
when we go to
gonna
this
do
planet, Yeah, if you're gonna do it.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well.
Yeah, like when I put out naked pictures of myself, you gotta Photoshop.
They do think we have 4 arms and 4 legs.
Yeah.
So you got that going for
And
you.
then we live in wheels or circles.
Yeah. It was the Vitruvian Man.
Vitruvian man.
yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and who doesn't know what is a Merkin?
American.
A Merkin, because you don't know.
Is that an American?
No, it's a Merkin. It's Merkin. Merkin. It's
There's
Merkin
no-
Vineyards. You know what that is?
It's
Apostrophe
like a
in front.
mulligan.
I have no idea what that is. What is it?
It's actually a toupee or rug or one of those
Interesting.
for your vagina. A hairpiece for your vagina. So it's fake pubic hair.
Because there's not enough hair on a vagina already.
I don't know
need
what,
more.
I don't know what they want to do. They shave it, then to just put a wig on it. He's got it over there.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything we don't need more of, it's pubic hair. I'm a big fan of, grooming. This is for my parents. I hope they're listening.
Why? Is it personal or in your significant other?
Well, I mean, this is just.
You only have like 2 buttons unbuttoned right there, and you look hairy as fuck. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the chest is different. Nobody's sucking on my chest. At least
Well,
that's another. I've had that experience.
voluntarily.
Maybe a nipple.
One of my girlfriends, one time I'm having sex with her, I'm on top of her, she just starts sucking my tit, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, of course I finish, and then I'm like,
Immediately.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, you don't have to do that ever again,
Ever again.
yeah, and
All right.
Not to quote Dumb and Dumber 2, but there was that one.
Definitely don't quote Dumb and Dumber 2, please.
It's like, I kind of like it. I'll be honest, I'm not that into it.
pretty good wine.
yeah. So yeah.
Not that into it.
Well,
The
we like
wine's
having.
a bit better.
Yeah, well, I'm used to. I mean, it's red wine.
Then again, I just mixed it with A&W, so I don't know.
You mixed your wine with.
Well, no, I mean, like,
There's
I
a
just
little bit
had A&W, and
residue
then,
in
like,
there.
right after I drank wine, so.
If I could give a dramatic reading here
Absolutely.
of the
Give it a go.
information here
Please.
on the back.
Give it a go.
Chupacabra, 2012. There's also a picture of the state of New Mexico. The trickster, the shapeshifter, the ever-elusive shadow who mutates the sun and moon, 1 year a dragon, another a snake. This is our mystery blend. Think forest, not trees. Think weather, not rain. Stare, and the chupacabra who dwells in your heart and not in your head will vanish. Only a true alchemist can draw holy blood from a stone, and the chupacabra is our opus, our phoenix, our cherub, our child. The fact that this is a table wine essentially means that it's like a bastardization of a bunch of other different kinds of wines. 50% Syrah, 20% Cabernet, 16% Cabernet Franc, and 14%
Jesus.
14% Petite Syrah. So basically, again, some sort of terrible hybrid
Bastard
Frankenstein's
thing, yeah.
monster bastard.
So it's meant for getting crunk.
Yeah.
I guess.
Let me also
It's not bad though.
let me also just bring this up to my listeners right now. You should be drinking right now if you're not.
We haven't established one yet, but there will be a drinking game to
Yeah.
go along with the show at some point.
Yeah, and if you're
Every time Nick says something politically incorrect, you take a shot. At this point, you should be a minute and a half in and fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, let me tell you, I mean, if you're not drinking and listening to this, you're not going to find this funny.
No.
And I don't care if you're listening to this at 8 a.m. in the morning.
As opposed to 8 a.m. at night.
Drive Time Radio with Nick Skansky.
have some shots.
As you're driving into the office this morning, crack open a beer.
No, well, everyone's got nips in their glove box, right?
That-
I see them on the side of the road everywhere. I mean, somebody's got them. It's not just one guy.
I mean, we all aspire to have nips in our glove box
Mm.
and nips in our hands. And
Now let's talk. I love nipples. Actually, is that gay?
You know, no, it
No,
can't be
I
because men aren't really supposed to have nipples. You know,
But we
that-
spend so much time sucking.
but how fucking weird would we look if we didn't?
exactly. But it's a leftover from
Would we, though?
choosing
Would we
between
look-
man and woman.
would we look different? Would we look really, really messed up?
I think we look hotter.
just have straight up.
Goku didn't have nipples
Why is that something you know?
because I watched Dragon Ball Z.
Did he? Didn't? He
I don't think so.
I thought he did.
Well, I
Well,
think maybe they censored it for the American version.
I mean, they weren't big nipples by any stretch.
Well, also,
but-
how about this question?
Pinpricks.
Obviously, we all know that nipple skin is different than all other skin. You know, what is nipple skin and how is it different? It's not like scrotum skin or anything like that. It's like some weird kind of hybrid. I don't know. Is it like the best skin we have? Is it like weird? Like, I don't know. Is there something we can do with it?
Best skin we have.
I think it is. It's soft.
What the?
It reacts. You pinch my skin, nothing happens. You pinch my nipple. Now we've got chemical reactions, we've got nerves, we got things happening.
I
I'm
think
building a
there's
tower.
lymph nodes in there,
Hmm.
but
I mean,
I could be wrong. You know what? Let me Google that so I don't sound like a dumbass.
Building a tower.
I think we've already established the brow of this conversation way too low to get into the evolutionary biological reasons why nipples are different from the rest of our skin.
Maybe they're different because they're supposed to taste good, because you need to be sucking nipples. So if a nipple with nasty skin, babies won't want to suck it.
Well, they feel good to get sucked on because you're supposed to
Yeah, they
nurse
do.
your children, and if you don't want to feed your kids, then they'll die. And so
So why don't we feed kids through our dicks? My kid would be force-fed, motherfucker. Well, I don't know. Just saying.
Because it already serves two purposes. You're already overloading the system by
Unless they start teething, and then that's when it would get bad. But other than that,
yeah.
I guess you can. I mean, it is like a protein thing.
It's already pretty much a stretch to run the the recreational department through the waste disposal zone. It's already difficult enough for the human body to deal with that shit. In addition to having some sort of milk gland, like a third testicle that makes milk. Is that what you're looking for?
I would love that.
All of our children would be starving.
You ever have like a weird moment where you think like, wait a second, does my hand smell like dick or does my dick smell like hand?
Oh my god.
Like
One of my fucking favorite.
No, I've never had that moment.
This is another one of those conversations where I think we got done with band practice. We were all sitting around, and Nick just turns to me, complete silence. We're all just sitting there, just like, have you ever jerked off so many times in a row that your dick starts to smell like seafood?
yeah.
And I'm like, you don't know what the fuck to say to that? That was one of those moments.
So, okay. I don't know if anyone is familiar with the idea that like a mosquito lands on your arm and then you flex your arm really strong and it blows up because you've fed all this blood to it. If a mosquito landed on your dick and you just started watching porn, would the mosquito explode? Would
You know how you do that thing where you can like flex and like the blood,
a little Kegel exercises.
Yeah.
It's important.
Kegels. I'm doing them right now.
Yeah.
So, I guess you could do something like that. And like, imagine if you can get like 80 mosquitoes on there just glorious.
Just like a fucking holocaust of mosquitoes on your
Yeah.
dick when
I'd
you get
love-
your next erection.
Like, I'm not gay, but I would watch that.
Oh God.
Nothing gay about that.
No, there's nothing gay about that. It's just
so
incredibly.
But you are
Disgusting.
enjoying it,
Yeah,
though.
I know.
Everyone of all sexual orientations can agree that is just fucked up.
Yeah, well, it's like the aurora borealis. You know, it only happens every now and again in nature, so you got to appreciate
I
it.
don't think that's ever happened in nature.
Pretty sure the aurora borealis is happening constantly.
So is this. Anyway, maybe we should move on to another topic.
Do you have something else?
Anything else.
Anything else?
You guys shouldn't have let me go on so long.
Maybe not
I don't know what the
anything
fuck.
else.
Oh my god.
Well, anything you want to talk about?
Have some more wine.
Okay.
Have some more wine. Yeah, Nick. Yeah.
Maybe that'll prevent you from getting an erection that causes a holocaust of mosquitoes.
Or that will cause another woman's dissatisfaction.
Well, there's no avoiding that.
Nope. It's come to the point with me where I'm almost a little thrown off if a girl's enjoying sex, you know? It's like, wait a second.
Like, wait, I'm doing things right?
Yeah. Like, what's going on wrong here?
Did someone
You know?
else pay you for this?
Yeah, exactly.
Or you just feel like they're lying the entire time.
Exactly. Yeah, that too. Like, bitch, I know you're not enjoying this that much. Because when I'm having sex, I don't need to make any noise. I could have sex like I'm in church, you know, just. And
I had that problem once. I had the girl ask me, "Can you make some noise? Just any noise?" I can't tell doing. I'm like, do I have to make men? I don't believe men should have to make noises.
Well, no, I think that's a
scatting?
misconception because we as men have probably watched a good amount of pornography in our lives, and basically the general rule is that the guy is talking during the porno. You just want him to shut the fuck up. So I think we internalize that. It's actually a very serious social issue. I think we should really take that to heart.
I like making noise because
No, but-
then it doesn't give me the chance to hear them in the absence of their noise. So.
That seems like, it's like, is she enjoying this? Like, am I fucking a corpse? What's going on here?
it's only if she's staring. It's really.
Just looks right at you in complete silence.
No, that's basically why I
Just
I
lies
could
there.
think about, you know,
Eyes rolled back.
possibly
Well, that's the best
It
part.
was a
Yeah.
corpse. Fuck.
fucking Meshuggah.
because there has to be, you know, because there has to be a fucker and a fucky, like you said.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I could
'Cause you can't
possibly
both move at the same time.
I could possibly see going gay just out of laziness, you know? Like, well, I just don't
What,
do
just
anything
get fucked
anymore.
in the ass?
Yeah. Be the easiest way.
So essentially, what you're saying is that
Instead of putting any physical effort into anything, I'd rather just take a dick in the butt. Maybe that could be true.
So your first preference is to be heterosexual, but your second preference is
Be
just to be
lazy.
a bottom because you're so lazy.
Yes.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like I'm jealous of gay people sometimes.
Because of all the rights they have.
Yeah. They don't have to have that stupid, like in certain states, they don't have to have the stupid marriage talk because they're like, well, we can't, so, you know.
All those fucking parades.
Yeah.
Why won't you commit to me? Well, because we can't.
Under the eyes of the state, you know?
So when gay guys get divorced, who gets all the money?
Well, they have to be able to get married first, Hogan. How very
Yeah.
insensitive of you.
Well,
You know,
for the most
it's
part, they
getting
can.
legalized in a lot of places. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the places that it is legal, like Vermont and stuff, those gays are just so progressive. I'm sure they just split it.
Well,
That wasn't a very funny answer.
Well,
what do you want to hear then?
it's funny when it's.
This is not a laughing matter. These faggots need rights.
Okay, you want to know what it is? You want to know who gets the money? Who gets the house? The bottom gets the house. All right? Because as much as they don't want to fight it, the bottom is the woman, you know? And that's why I'm saying even gay relationships are still straight relationships because there's always a woman. You can't fight that.
And
That was the answer
later
I
on in
wanted.
Fat, Dumb, and Angry, we will refute everything you're saying right now.
He'll tell me what it's like to be gay, and then he'll show me what it's
We'll
like
have
to
an
be gay.
actual gay person talk about these things.
Is he gay?
I thought he was.
I've wanted the same thing, you know. And I'm sure he's going to listen to this, but I've always wanted the same thing. Maybe he's just lazy, just like us, except he's finally given into it. He actually has the moral fiber or whatever to actually just go straight ahead and be like, yeah, no, fuck women.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered.
Well,
I kind of wondered.
it's not really fucking women.
It's
Not.
Now, this is an interesting topic I want to talk about. You know, like the difference between how dating is and, you know, like with technology and everything like that, you know, Has it almost got to the point where there's really no point in even dating anymore? I mean, anytime I think about dating and I start messaging these girls online, I just, this is a great quote that I think I came up with that I like to say to myself. It's that, well, every now and again, I feel really lonely, and then I remember to masturbate, and then I'm okay. It's like, I have those moments. Yeah, and then I just watch porn, and then I realize, well, actually, all I needed to do was get the semen out of me, and now I'm glad I'm single.
Expel the devil.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
So how many male lives have been ruined out of just, being tricked into having to have sex with women? It's a trick.
Well, how many male lives have been ruined by
Or
the fact that they're
created.
not allowed to masturbate? I think that's like all of Islam.
Yeah, this is another thing
That's
I'd
why
like to...
they're fucking bombing us.
That's another thing I'd like to talk about, too.
Because of masturbation. They hate us because we masturbate.
And you know what? You know what women hate? Women hate the fact that men can masturbate and pretty much achieve basically the same thing with them on their own. And that's why I posted something on my Twitter account, at
Women
Fat,
can
Dumb, and
masturbate
Angry.
as well.
Huh?
I said women can masturbate as
Yeah,
well.
they can.
It does
but
happen.
That's the thing, is women can just go out and have sex without us as well. So it's really no difference to me.
Oh.
Because they're not going to be putting in the effort to try to get with me anyway. I'm the one who has to put in the effort. So here's what I wrote on my Twitter account a little while ago, which was male slut shaming, which is making a guy feel bad for either how much porn he watches or how much he masturbates, because women like to try to make men feel bad about that, because if they're doing those things and they're satisfied with that, they're not trying to give any attention to women. And that is, as I've said before, the Achilles heel of a woman and feminism is just being ignored. You ignore women and they disappear. I don't even see them anymore.
So
Unless
what you're
they're on my
saying is
screen,
that,
yeah.
Like 51% of the entire world population is like a quantum paradox. If you don't observe them, they just don't exist.
Yeah. I know they're out there. I know they're having sex with hot guys, I don't blame them. If I was a woman, I'd be doing the same thing,
What else would you be doing if you were a woman?
There are
Nick?
surgeries. For
I'd be,
that.
yeah. If I was a woman, I'd be down at the docks, waiting for the ships to come. Fuck.
Hey,
I
sailor.
gotta give credit for that. That was Jerry Seinfeld, everyone. But yeah.
Does your mother still hang out at Dockside Bones?
G.I. Joe.
But think about it, I mean, that's one of the things too. Think about changing genders to a woman. Could there be an easier life choice?
Yeah, I feel like there should be a warning label, because you can be
May cause moodiness.
no. I mean, like, you can be fat and ugly as a woman, and you're still gonna get laid. If you take away that, and you're fat and ugly as a man,
Well, it'll be probably easier to get a job, maybe, but harder to get laid. It's gonna be harder to get laid.
I don't know about that.
And I'm saying that as a fat guy who's not in college. In college, anyone can get laid, obviously, but.
Well, it's called alcohol
Yeah.
and drugs.
So, I mean, once you're on your own and you're just a fat schmuck, nobody really wants anything to do with you unless they're not interested in having sex with you.
I disagree with the college thing.
Well, I never really went to a college.
Okay.
That can explain
See,
me.
this
I say
goes-
that because
this goes back to you being too nice a guy.
Yeah.
Well, it all comes down to
You
if
just
you're in
date
a
raped a few of those
sorority.
girls.
If you had just date raped
if I
two or
just-
three more girls, I mean, college would have been so much better for you.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
But
Herpes.
I feel like being part of a
Check.
part of a frat or a sorority
Check.
was the only way you could do it. At least at my college, like have any sort of relationship with anybody. Everybody else was kind of doing their own thing. So I mean, yeah, you
What,
probably
you talk about scat or you heart?
you heart.
You heart?
Yeah, like literally, that's what the campus was made out of. Is like if you weren't any sort of fraternity or sorority, you were on your own.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, I feel like, because I was in a fraternity as well, and it gives you a very defined sort of hunting territory.
Yeah.
You know where the range is, you know where your prey animals are, and you can sort of look around and
know when
pick
they're
out the
weak.
weakest,
Yeah.
sickest members of the herd, and whatever
That
you
girl
want
on
to do.
crutches.
Yeah, exactly. Where the girl in the wheelchair. She was a huge slut, man. She would
12
just
shots deep and
she
she's
would-
paralyzed from
she
the
would-
waist down. She's
she
good prey.
would jerk anyone off who wanted to sit on her lap and dance around for a little while in the middle of the dance floor. So,
What a waste of time
Is-
that
is
is. If you're crippled, I'm getting with you just for butt stuff because you can't feel it. That's the only reason why I'd get you. Your hand job. What a waste.
also, but well, of course, on the other hand, though, it would take a lot more effort on your part because you'd
On
have
the
to
other hand.
pick her up and turn her over.
It's still easier than raping a girl. slightly easier. But still, I always go for the easiest option, which is why I'm still jacking it.
There you go. There it is. Full circle. Done.
24 and jacking it.
Next.
Yeah. Any other topics we want to talk
No,
about?
that's Jesus Christ. And that's why I'm still jacking it. That's a place to end right there.